Hey, what's up, guys? One day out of hip replacement surgery. Had it yesterday morning, and I've been walking around a little bit. Um, Today was a little bit rougher than yesterday. I think all the anesthesia wore off, and now I'm kind of bare bones, having the soreness of shaking up the bones in the hip, and of course, the whole leg is sore and hard to move around, and just a little bit out of energy. And so I decided I wanted to run a game. I was not going to be deterred. And I chose a season that I've been replaying for a while. One of my favorite seasons to replay is the Mets 1987 season. And they happened to be playing the Cards. The Mets lost to the Cards that season in the division by 3 games. The Mets were 92 and 70, 3 games behind the Cardinals with Davey Johnson at the helm. And I replayed this season with Appa, and it was a blast. It was, you know, really, they had a powerful offense. Had, I think, about 100. And let's look at the total home runs they had that season. Total home runs that season was almost 200, 192. They had 160 stolen bases. Their batting average was 268 as a team. They had a pretty good defense, decent defense, and they had a lot of the stars from 1986. They had them back. I think the whole team was back. They added an outfielder from the Padres. His name was Kevin McReynolds. But they had the usual suspects: Carter, Hernandez, Backman, Santana, Johnson, Dykstra, Strawberry were all back. Then, of course, Mookie Wilson, Tim Tuffle, Dave Magadan, Lee Mazzilli. Now, the pitching staff let them down a little bit. And one of the things that I learned about 1987 is that Dwight Gooden doesn't come back for about a couple months. He misses about 7 or 8 starts. And it's because he's in rehab. He fell off the wagon at the end of the 86 season. I don't even think he showed up at the 86 World Championship ticker tape parade celebration. I think he just went on a binge, and that binge continued throughout the off season. And when springtime came along, he was not prepared to play, and he was suspended and sent off to a 2-month rehab stint. This really hurt the Mets, and I know that he could have easily. He came back in April, May. I think he came back in June, and he went 15-7 with a 3.21 ERA. Of course, not the same pitcher that we knew in '85 when he was just lights out, but still, held his own. Now, Ron Darling was really the pitcher who headed that staff, and he struggled with ERA, but only gave up 183 hits in 207 innings. So most of the runs scored on him were walks and home runs. So he really struggled with the walks, gave up almost 100 walks in 200 innings. And then, of course, he gave up the 24 home runs. So he's got a wild streak for sure. Today in the game that we're playing, we're going to have, starting is going to be, I can't even get him, Bobby Ojeda. Ojeda went down as well early in the season. Only started 7 games for the Mets that season, had a 3.88 ERA with 46 innings pitched. So that was an injury that was going to hurt the Mets as well. And that's about it. So now the Mets bullpen, Roger McDowell was the closer. He had 25 saves, but he had an ERA over 4. Notably, Terry Leach pitched very well with a 3.22 ERA. Doug Sisk held his own with a 3.46 ERA. But both Orozco had a terrible offseason. 58 games, had a 4.44 ERA. And so he was banged up a little bit. And then of course Randy Myers was on that team as well, and he did not have a great season. His ERA was around 4 as well. So they're going to face the Mets. It's going to be John Tutor, who I believe was lights out in 1987. I have to look at I'll look at the cards. Let's see. Yeah, John Tutor in 87 was 10 wins, 2 losses, 3.84 ERA. He was also injured, so he had a great 1-loss record, but his ERA is pretty high. Allowed 11 home runs in 96 innings. So not as good as I've seen him be. I think in 83. Can't remember the season I was playing where he had like a 1-something ERA. Can't remember what season that was, but he had some great seasons. So let's play some ball. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's roll some dice. We're playing Strat-O-Matic. It is the Mets visiting the Cardinals in St. Louis, 1987, and it's Bobby Ojeda versus Vince Coleman. It's going to be, of course, Mookie Wilson leading it off for the Mets, and he will be facing John Tutor. Well, let's play John Tutor. There he is. I have to put I put the Mets in the sleeves just to protect them, but Cardinals, don't know if I'm going to do that. We'll see. And all right, this is 1987 Strat-O-Matic set. And Tutor was 10-2 with a almost 4 ERA. He was out after a couple of months, injured. And the Mets, of course, were 92-70, I believe. No, 90-72, 3 games behind the Cardinals. So it's going to be, let's look. It's going to be Wilson, Tuffle, Hernandez, Carter, Strawberry, McReynolds, Howard Johnson, Rafael Santana, and of course the pitcher. All the usual suspects for the Mets. Let's roll some dice and let's get it going here. All right, a 4. It's going to be off the pitcher, and he's a switch hitter. So against the left-hander, he'll be batting as a right-hander. So let's see what we got here. It's a 7, right? It's a 7 versus a left-handed Tutor versus a right-handed batter. A 7 is going to be a 1 and 2 double. We rolled a 20. And that's going to be a line drive base hit. This is a single leading off the game for Mookie Wilson. Mookie Wilson with good speed. I'm using the deep drive scorecard. And let's see. Will we send Mookie Wilson? Tutor's a -2. Catcher. Catcher Steve Lake is a -2 as well. So that's a -4. And Mookie Wilson is an A. Let me take a quick peek at what that's going to be. I don't play this very often, so I don't have everything. It's 1 to 15, -4, 1 to 11. So plus the -2 for holding him on. He's going to play it safe. Wilson's going to play it safe. And it's Tim Tuffle. Pitch from Tutor. And it is off of Tuffle's card. And it's an 8, and that'll be a fly ball center field. Over is McGee for out number 1. So 1 on, 1 out here, 1987. Where were you in 1987? I was in Queens, New York, driving a cab, and I was going to school. Defense for the Cardinals, Coleman in left, McGee in center, and the right fielder is Jim Lindemann today. So 1 on, 1 out. Here's Keith Hernandez. Pitch from Tutor, and that will be off of Hernandez against the left-handed pitcher. And that's going to be a 6, which is a strikeout. So Hernandez chases a slider down and away for out number 2. And here comes Gary Carter, the kid. And that is going to be off Tutor. He's a righty, so he faces a right-handed batter with a 7. I roll a 5 and a 7. That's a ground ball, second base X. So we got a 16. I believe that is second base 16. He will, if he's a 2, it's an 1-base error. Only if he's a 2 is it a 1-base error. So let's see. Second baseman Tommy Herr. That's 3rd, so he turned into a heck of a hitter. Did I write his stats? Ozzie Smith. Where's her? Hold on. Coleman. Ozzie Smith. Huh. Is he in the pack, in the St. Louis Cardinals pack? Did I not pull him? I thought I did pull him. Oh, there he is. Okay, so I did not pull him. All right, must have been the drugs. All right, so we're checking his error rating. His error rating, he is a fielder 2, so he will make an error. E4 on Tommy Herr. Let's see if we can track that on my pen. So going to second is Wilson, and Carter's on at first. Here it is. All right, E4. And up comes Darryl Strawberry. He's the big power. He's the big slugger for the Mets. Young guy, 20th. I think 87. He was what? He was about 23 years old. All right, lefty on lefty. Here's a pitch from Tutor. And it's off Tutor. It's a 5, and it's an 8, and struck him out to end the inning. And the Cardinals and Tutor get out of a mini jam. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. And we go to the bottom of the first inning. All right, let's set this up again. There we go. All right, Bobby Ojeda pitched 10 games, 7 starts, and went down with an injury in 87. And check out the sign from the kid. And it's going to be a 5. He's a switch hitter. He's a lefty, so he's batting righty, right-handed hitter. You got a 5 and a 5. That's a fly ball center field. 1 down. Ozzie Smith is up next. Switch hitter. Pitch from Ojeda. That's a 3 against a left-hander. And a 2 is popped up middle infield, second baseman. Who's that? Tuffle. Under it. 2 out. So 2 quick outs for Bob Ojeda. And it's a 1 that'll be off the switch hitter Tommy Herr. against the lefty, a 1 and a 6, and that's ball 4. So he walks her with 2 outs, and up comes Jack Clark. Jack Clark, kind of a season did he have? He hit 35 home runs, 136 walks. So he was a heck of a player in 1987. And Ojeda gets the sign from the kid and lets it fly. And that will be off of Jack Clark against a lefty. It's a 2 with a 5, and that's a diamond shot. Oh man, I gotta find the timeout because I gotta find the ballpark chart. So let's see if we can hold on. All right, so I went to the ballpark reference sheet on Strat-O-Matic, and I pulled the numbers. It's singles 1 to 10, and homers are 1 to 5. So it's a 5 on Clark against a lefty. It's a diamond shot way back into the left center field seats for a 2-0 St. Louis Cardinal lead. Now he did hit, picks up a couple RBIs there, 2-out walk, and now the 2-run homer off of Ojeda. And the Mets trail here in St. Louis by 2 runs. He did hit 35 home runs. And here is Willie McGee. I sat up a little bit to be able to manage the game a little bit better. So it's going to be a 2. That's going to be against the lefty thrower. It's a 2 and a 7, and that is a base hit to right. So after 2 quick outs, Ojeda is struggling a little bit here in St. Louis. Again, his ERA was about 4 in 1987. And up is Jim Lindemann. Know nothing about this guy. A 2 and a 9, and that is a drive in the gap. And after it is the left fielder McReynolds, and McReynolds catches up to it and robs Lindemann of a double. A 1 to 10, I rolled a 16. A 1 to 10 would have been a double on that 9. But the left fielder catches it in the gap, runs it down, and it's 2 runs on 2 hits, and the Cardinals lead it. Top of the second. All right, clean this up a little bit. Can't sit in my regular chair because, of course, the surgery that I talked about at the beginning of the video. And it's going to be Kevin McReynolds leading off against John Tutor. I think it was the 83 season that John Tutor was just lights out. And it's going to be a 6, so it is going to be off Tutor against a righty, a 6 and a 9. And that's a line out to the third baseman. So he rips one, pulls one down the line, but right there is Pendleton. And that's 1 away. Now, Mets have an outstanding offense, so they can come back very quickly. And pitch to Howard Johnson. And that's going to be a, let's see now. It's off the pitcher. He's a switch hitter, so he's batting righty. So it's a 6 and an 8, and that's popped up. Middle infield, both the shortstop and the second baseman converge. And it's the second baseman, Tommy Herr, who makes the catch, 2 down. And here comes Rafael Santana. Outstanding fielding shortstop, but was given a 3 in 1987. So didn't have a really good season. It's going to be a 1 against the lefty and a 4, and that is a star line with a 16, is lined to second base. Actually, he's a righty, so it's lined to shortstop, and that ends the inning. So we go to, it's 2-0 Cardinals. We go to the bottom of the second. All right, bottom of the 7th, 8-1 Cardinals. Not a very exciting game, but you get a chance to chit-chat a lot. Just popped a bunch of anti-inflammatories and some pain medicine as well, aspirin for thinning the blood, and I'm ready to roll here. Took a little break, did some physical therapy, and it's going to be Lindemann. Lindemann is 1 for 3 today, flat out. He singled, he grounded out. Also, he singled and reached to base on a McReynolds error, scored a run there. And it's a new pitcher for the Mets. It's going to be Doug Sisk. He's a right-hander. Here's pitch, playing Strat-O-Matic. It's 6 hits off Sisk. He's a righty. And a 3 is a single. Nope, it's a line out to shortstop, L6. So it's 1 to 10 on singles, and we keep on rolling high. Next up is Terry Pendleton. I don't want to drop any dice because then that's going to be a problem. He was 1 for 3, singled in the second, ground to the pitcher and lined out to the left fielder McReynolds. And so he's 1 for 3 today. And here's a pitch from Sisk. That's a 1 and a 5. Sisk is a right-hander, and a 5 is a fly ball. Right field over is Strawberry. Strawberry settles under it, makes the grab for out number 2. On the bottom of the 7th here, 8-1 Cardinals. And it's Steve Lake. Lake has had a pretty good day. He's been on base all 3 times, singled, homered, 2-home-run homer, and he walked. Pitch from Sisk. Again, it's on Lake's card. The 2 is a column with a 3, and that's lined, ripped to short, and right there, Santana. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Mets can't get anything going against Tutor. Tutor's been lights out today in this replay 1987 April replay game. I'm replaying using this Strat-O-Matic PC game. And who's going to be up? It's going to be Dave Magadan. He's batted before. He's lined out, and he's facing Tutor. All right, and here's Magadan. It's going to be off Tutor. Magadan is a lefty, a 5 with an 8, and that's a strikeout.
It's on me, John. How much are we paying?
Hold on a second. I don't know what happened. TV just came on.
To who?
Local.
I don't know how that happened. Weird. Let's stop it. There we go, powering off. All right, so what did I say it was? It was a 5 with an 8. That's a strikeout. So curveball gets Magadan. Not really a great hitter against lefties, but that's what we got. Mookie Wilson, switch hitter, pitch from Tutor. That's a 4. That's he's batting righty. So a 4 and a 5, and that's a drive in the gap. And that's going to fall in there and roll to the wall for a double. That is Mookie Wilson's 2nd hit of the game. He's on his 2nd. Tim Tuffle is up next. Some action in the bullpen. And point of weakness is the 6th inning. We're already in the 8th inning. Try to get a complete game out of him. It's going to be a 3 against the lefty. A 3 and a 6. And that is a drive. That's going to be over the left fielder's head. And 1 hop off the wall. Digging for 2nd is Tuffle, and he picks up an RBI. The Mets pick up a run. 8-2 with 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Next is Keith Hernandez. Pitch from Tutor. That is a 3 and a 5. And that's a drive in the gap. That's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. Another run comes in, and that, my friends, is going to be it for Tutor. Mets have picked up 3 consecutive doubles, and it's 8-3 now. He's allowed 4 in 2 innings, so he's out. So the Mets finally get to Tutor. Finally. And let's see if we can reach some of these guys. I don't have a lot of mobility here. So it's a struggle. Where did I do with the, ouch. Yeah, it's a full hip replacement game. David Cohn and Keith Hernandez both had this surgery done. And it made a huge difference. Cohn was a little happier than, I think he had a stronger meds than Keith Hernandez did. All right, so I'm struggling with where's my players for the Cardinals? I got the Mets players. Ouch. Let me see if I can find the Cardinal players put in the box up here. And what happened to the Cardinal players? Okay, found them yet. And we got a new pitcher coming in. Let's see who we got to come in. Look for somebody that's got a lot of appearances, because you know he was with the Danny Cox, had Danny Cox, I believe he was a starter relief. Bill Dolly. He had 97 innings pitched. We're going to bring in Dolly to finish this off. So Dolly comes in, and he will be facing Carter and then Strawberry. Carter's 0 for 3, reached out an error. So Dolly, let's write him in. Tutor goes 7 1/3. Oh, 7.1. And here goes Gary Carter against Bill Dolly, the right-hander pitch. That's a 5 off Dolly. A 5 and a 3 is a ball 4. So the Mets with 1 out have runners on first and second. Next is Darryl Strawberry. Dolly checks in with Lake for the sign and deals. That's a 5 off Dolly and a 10. He's a lefty. 5 and a 10, and that's a drive. That's going to get another run in. 8-4 now. Stopping at second is Strawberry. Stopping at third is Carter. So yes, we had a 10 there on that 5 against the lefty, and that is a double. And it scores 8-4 now. So the Mets have quickly, in the last 2 innings, cut the lead in half. This is what I was talking about. They have a very explosive offense. Here comes Kevin McReynolds. Bill Dolly checks in with Lake, sets and deals. And that's off Dolly again, a 6. This time he's a righty, a 6 and a 5. And that's a fly to center field. C. Let's see what happens with that. C. Runner advances 1 base. So runner on third, I think, advances 1 base. And that's C, right? Oh no, I look at ground ball. C. Runners hold. Batter is out on a fly out. Runners hold. Okay. So it's a fly out to center 2-way. Second and third for the Mets with 2 outs here. They trail by 4 runs, 8-4. And here is the pitcher spot. And we're going to bring up somebody to pinch hit. Obviously. Let's grab the Mets and see what we got. Len Dykstra. Going to bring in Len Dykstra. And we may go to a lefty in the bullpen. So Dykstra's going to come in to pinch hit. 9, pinch hitter. Comes in 8th, actually. I should write 8. So Len Dykstra is going to bat with second and third. Mets trailing. So the tying run is on deck. And that is Santana. Let's see if we have a lefty in the bullpen for the Cards that can cancel out the Dykstra advantage. Let's see, starter, Cox is a starter, Conroy is a starter, Okimbo's shortstop, he's the next Met, Pena, of course, these are batters. John Morris, Greg Matthews, he's a pitcher. Juan, he's a lefty pitcher, actually. Okay, so here, Greg Matthews is going to come in. Let's see what kind of season he had. He had 198 innings pitched. But wait a second, is he a starter? Yeah, he's a starter. Joe McGrain, he's a lefty. And McGrain is a starter. I have him as a starter as well. Oh, okay, here's Tutor. I think he was the main guy, right? He was the main guy. Tutor, 95 innings pitched, so he's gonna, but is he a lefty? No, he's a righty. I want to bring a lefty in here. But it doesn't look like I have one that I can bring in. Randy O'Neill, Lee Tunnell. Rick Horton is a lefty. Oh, can bring him in. Rick Horton pitched 125 innings. He is a reliever, so it works. Relief. Okay, so Horton's going to come in to pitch to Dykstra. Dolly, what did he do? He got an out, 1/3 of an 8.1. All right, Lenny Dykstra with 2 men on. The tying run is on deck. Try to get that there. And here's a pitch from Rick Horton. All right, that's going to be off Dykstra. He's a lefty, so it's a 2 with a 9, and that's going to be a double, which is going to clear the bases. A bases clearing double to right, pulls one down the line into the corner. Playing it out of the corner is Lindemann, but 2-run score. 2-run pinch hit double for Lenny Dykstra. So the matchup backfires against the Cardinals, and now it is Santana up. Against Rick Horton. Santana righty. Here's a pitch, and that is a 1 and a 5 against the right lefty. Excuse me, a 1 and a 5, and that is a pop up right side. First baseman Clark. He's there, and that is out number 3. So Santana makes the 3rd out of the inning, but the Mets come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. 5 runs, and that's 8-6 the score as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. So this has become an exciting game after a game I thought it was just simply a blowout. All of a sudden the Mets are right back in there, just like I predicted. So I do know what I'm talking about every so often. All right, we're gonna have a pinch hitter here for the Cardinals. And the Mets are going to have to need a new pitcher as well. All right, and who's it going to be? Jesse Orozco is going to come in. So Orozco, the lefty, will face most likely a righty. Let's grab a righty from the bench for the Cards. See who we have there. Got Danny Cox. Danny Cox did have a lot of the bats. Oh no, he's a pitcher. Let's find the batters. Hold on a second. Okay, we got Pena. We got Jose Oquendo. Let's bring in Tony. You don't want to use the catcher. Tom Pagnozzi. Sam Pagnozzi, 45 at bats. He didn't play very much, so he's probably not even available. Morris, John Morris, a right fielder, and he had 157 at bats. I'll say he is available, so he's going to pinch hit. So Jay Morris, pinch hitter, and here's the pitch from Jesse Orozco. Winds and deals. That's a 3 against a right-hander, right? Oh no, John Morris is a lefty. Hold on a second. Timeout. Let's call him back. Call him back. You don't want to. We're looking for a right-hander. I'm just gonna go with Tony Pena because it looks like I have like a ton of lefties on the bench. I have Dreesen, I have Lance Johnson, I have Kurt Ford. They're all lefties. Greg Matthews, he's a pitcher. Ray is a pitcher. Ted Worrell, he's gonna be pitching next inning. I believe he's the closer. I believe Worrell is the closer. All right, so we're just gonna have to go with. We can go with Okendo. We can go with. I don't think Pagnazzi's around. I'm gonna go to Tony Pena. Tony Pena, I know, is a righty. All right, so we'll leave us. We're using up our catcher here, so we're gonna get rid of that. I didn't bother to look, and I should have. And we're gonna bring in Tony Pena. He will bat. And I think, did I roll? I'll roll again. Pitch from Roscoe. It's a 5 off of Roscoe. He's a righty, a 5 and a 7. And that is ground ball second base with a 20. I'm using this other chart now. Ground ball second base. Who is it second base for me? It's Tuffle. Tuffle, I believe, is what, a 3? Or a 2? Tuffle is a 4 at second base. Terrible second baseman with that 20. And that's going to be, he makes the play. Ground ball B. All right, so it's 4-3, 1 away. Now to the top of the order, Vince Coleman. Coleman reached out an error, has made 3 outs in addition. And here's Coleman against Jesse Orozco. And that is a 3 against the lefty with a 6 with a 7. That's ball 4. And there it goes, and he steals second. Just use that 11. And Ozzie Smith is up next. Ozzie Smith, that's a 6. Ozzie Smith's a switch hitter, batting righty, and an 8. And that's a big strikeout. So gets him with the slider. And that's 2 away now here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 8-6 Cardinals. Mets have come back with 6 runs, 5 in the 8th and 1 in the 7th. And here is Tommy Herr for the runner in scoring position. Pitch from Orozco. And that is a 3 and an 8. And that is bounced to third. Nice play by Magadan. Fires to first on target. And that retires the side. So the Mets had maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs in that inning. On 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. And there was no runs, no hits here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to top of the 9th. Last licks for the Mets. They're down by 2. Todd Worrell will be coming in. He will be facing Magadan. Let's grab Morel. So it turned out to be a pretty good game in the end. All right. Todd Worrell, I believe he's the closer from memory. Either way, he's coming in. He's a right-hander. And Worrell right here. He will face Magadan. And the top of the order, Wilson and Tuffle. Let's do it. Todd Worrell in there. It's going to be against a righty. It's a 1. A 1 with an 8, and that is line base hit to left. So Magadan starts us off with a single. That brings a tying run to second base. To the plate, excuse me. And Mookie Wilson's up. Todd Worrell checks in with Lake. Sets and deals. and that is a 4, so that'll be off Worrell. He's a switch hitter, so it'll be he'll bat lefty. And we're looking at a 10, and that's going to be a catcher X rating with a 14. Catcher Lake. What is Lake here? Maybe Lake can give us a fastball or something. All right, what is Lake? Lake is a 2 catcher. And we roll a 14. 2 catcher on a 14 is a pass ball and a foul out. So I'm moving to second on a pass ball. Is Magadan, and that's an FO2 for Wilson. Pops it up, and right there is Lake to put it away. Okay, so now it's Tim Tuffle is up. Tuffle today is doubled and walked, so he's contributed. Tim Tuffle against Todd Worrell with the Tim Tuffle is the tying run, by the way, so home run here ties the game. 8. That's going to be 5. He is a righty. A 5 with a 9, and that is a ground ball, second base C, so that's going to allow the runner to go to third. And here comes Keith Hernandez, the Keith Hernandez. Keith Hernandez today is doubled, lined out, and hit into a fielder's choice and struck out, so he's 1 for 4. And he's a lefty hitter. Todd Worrell checks in with Lake, sets and deals. Hernandez is tying run at the plate. Home run here ties it. And that's a 4 against a lefty, a 4 and a 6. And struck him out. Ball game is over. Keith Hernandez not happy. Gets called out on strikes. Looks at the umpire. Just disagrees. And that's the ball game. Final score is St. Louis 8, Mets 6. Played a little Strat-O-Matic, which is nice. A little comfort food, if you will, for the soul and for the body here during my second day out of surgery for a total hip replacement, which is going to improve my quality of life exponentially. And this is, of course, been, verified multiple times. And David Cohn and Keith Hernandez have had the same surgery. They required it as well. Cohn has had problems with his hip arthritis in his 40s. He retired at 40 years old for hip arthritis. And that's eventually what took me down. So that's it. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel. This is Tony Porter. I hope you enjoyed watching a fun game with the Mets coming back and, being right there at the end. They're basically brought up the tying run multiple times here in the last inning against Todd Worrell, but Todd Worrell was able to strike out Keith Hernandez to end the game. Did a great job, and that's about it, my friends. So remember to like and subscribe, and join the Universal Baseball Association Facebook group and all its affiliated groups. Got about 7 other groups there, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. All right, we're in the bottom of the second inning, and it's going to be Bobby Ojeda facing off against Pendleton Lake and John Tutor. So let's roll some dice. All right, so that's a 3. It's off of Pendleton against a lefty, a 3 and a 9er, and that's lined to center for a single. So Pendleton strokes one. A rope to center field, waited back, and lined it. So he leads off with a single. Next is Steve Lake, the pitch, and that will be off. He's a righty, and that will be off of Ojeda's card, and it's a 10, and that's a 1-14 home run against an N. He's a W from the right side. Oh, against left-handed pitchers. He does have an N. That's a deep drive. And that's gone. Left field fence. Over the left field fence. So 2 2-run homers against Bobby Ojeda have put the Cards up 4-0. And here is the pitcher, and I gotta grab the pitcher batting card. I should just give an automatic out. It's a 1 of 3 cards. I have them on my computer. It's not turning on. So the batter, here it is. Here it comes. I was able to sit up, so it's a little bit easier playing this sitting up. There it is. Okay, so Tutor batting is a 3 pitcher batting card. So let's roll. That's going to be off of pitcher batting card 3 and a 3 and a 9, and that's a strikeout. I will that. Thought that was going to happen for sure. All right, let's see if we can get this a little bit closer. I don't think so. Sorry. A lot going on here. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I don't want to risk dropping everything, knocking over the lamp. All right, so 1 out, 4-0 Cardinals, and it's Vince Coleman who flied out to center to start off the game against a lefty. He's column 2 with an 11, and that is a hard hit ball at the shortstop. Santana, he's up with it over to first, and that's a 2nd out. So Santana had to hurry on that because Coleman can fly. Here's Ozzie Smith who popped up to the infield. And that is a 2 against a left-handed pitcher and a 6, ball 4. So he works a walk. It's a 2-out walk for Ozzie Smith, and he is, let's see, Ojeda is a hold of a 1. Gary Carter Gary Carter is a 0. So that's a -1, -3 because they're holding them. So a -3, and Ozzie Smith is an A, which is, I believe, is 1 to 15, I believe. I have the chart behind me, see if I can reach it without. Don't have a lot of mobility right now. I'm doing some physical therapy exercises, but don't have, so 1 to 15 again is 1 to 15 minus 3 we said, so it's 12. So we're at 60%. We're gonna hold off on that. Not a big base dealer. If he was a AA, then I'd consider it. Here's Tommy Herr with 2 out. Actually, you know what? With 2 out, we're gonna try it. With 2 out, runner on first, we're gonna try it. There it goes, and that's an 11. I think that does it. He's a -3, then he had a 12, so he's in there safely, so he steals 2nd. That puts the runner in scoring position. I'm very strategic in these games. You know, I don't go from first to third with nobody out, or with 2 outs. I don't want to make that first out at third or that 3rd out at third base. So I do, you know, I really carefully kind of choose the moments that I'm going to move about the bases and take those risks. All right, so here's Tommy Herr, switch hitter, batting from the right side against the lefty Ojeda. And here's a pitch. It's a 3 against the lefty and a 5, and that is bounced to short. Charged by Santana, fires to first, and that retires aside. 2 runs come in on 2 hits. The 2-run homer by Steve Lake, the backup catcher. All right, and we go to the top of the 3rd, see if the Mets can get something rolling. All I ever do is market their offense, talk about how they have such a great offense. See what happens here. John Tutor, ooh, that almost hit the floor. If it hits the floor, then we'll have to stop the game, because I cannot pick that up. All right, that's a 1. That's off Santana against the lefty, and a 7. Can't see with the glare. And it's bounced to 3rd, pull down the line. picked up by Pendleton, fires to first. Oh, wrong player, actually. It's the pitcher's up. So that is a 1, and what do we say? A 7. He strikes out. Next up is Santana. His pitch. Not Santana, actually. It's Wilson. All right, so that's going to be a 6 off the pitcher. Mookie is going to be a right-handed batter, 6'12", and that is a shortstop. Ozzie Smith's got to be a 1, so that will not be an error. Sure-handed, he is a 1, so he will make that play. 6-3. I'm just using the, I think, advanced error rating, I believe. I'm not sure which one it is. And next is Tim Tuffle. And that is a 5. That's off the pitcher. He's a righty. So it's a 5 with a 5, and that's ball 4. So it's a 2-out walk to Tuffle. Tuffle has a knack for getting on base in those late 80s Mets teams. Keith Hernandez, he had a little pop in his bat as well. Here's Keith Hernandez, drop the pitch to Hernandez. That's a 6 against a lefty. And we're looking at a 7. That's a hard hit ground ball at the shortstop. Again, he's a 1. And that is going to have that here in front of me. That is going to be an out. He's going to go 6-4. Fielder's choice. And that, 19, wait a second. 19, yeah, that's a 6-4 double. Fielder's choice, and that is the inning. So he hits it hard up the middle, but Ozzie Smith shows good range, gets to it, and flips to Tommy Hurts, second for the force. And Keith Hernandez is retired. Jack Clark coming up, and he hit a 2-run bomb in the first inning. 4-0 St. Louis. All right, here's a pitch. So he hit a lefty, and that'll be against a right-handed hitter, a 4 and a 10, and that is a deep drive way back, and that's the second home run of the day for Jack Clark against Bobby Ojeda. And Bobby has allowed 5 runs here in a short amount of time. Willie McGee's next. Oh, and I put in the wrong spot, but luckily I have the, what did I do with the whiteout that I brought specifically for something like that? Ah, here it is. So I put in the wrong spot. So to lead off the bottom of the third, Jack Clark hits his second home run of the day. Willie McGee. That will be a 6. He's batting from the right side, a 6 and a 6, and it's a fly out down the line into the right field corner, and there is Strawberry with a nice running catch. So McGee flies out to Darryl Strawberry, who's becoming a more and more decent right fielder. Here's Jim Linderman, who flies out to left. And that will be a 6. He's a righty, a 6 and a 3. And that's a fly out to left with a 15. McReynolds, excuse me, is out there. And with a 2, he's going to run that down with a 15. Yes, he does. Oh, no, wait a second. A 15 against a 2 is a single and an error. So a single drops in front of him, and he bobbles the ball, rushing to get it in, and Lindemann reaches second base. And Lindemann is a 112 runner. He's not a good base stealer. He's not going to be anything there, so he'll stay. Here's Terry Pendleton with a 5. He's a switch hitter, so he's batting righty against the lefty. So that is a column 5 with a 3, and that's a pitcher X number And Ojeda, pitching-wise, is a 0, so he'll make that play for the second out. Let's see, does the runner go to third on that? I don't know. Let's see, is it a lefty or righty batter? Okay, he's right. He's batting righty, so he's not gonna. It's on the right side, so he's not gonna go to third. He's gonna hold up. Solve that problem. All right. This is a game of, well, all games, right? All our tabletop games are little games of solving problems, doing what's logical. Steve Lake with a 5. He's a righty, so a 5 and a 10, and that's a fly out to center field again. Who's out there today? Mookie Wilson is out there. And Mookie Wilson, he's a 3 with a 15. And that's a base hit, so it's a range single. And that will, let's see if that drives in a run. That may drive in a run or 2 stars. Yes, it says 2 bases. So that's the 5th run of the game. Comes in on an RBI single by Stevie Lake, who homered in the 2nd inning. 5 runs allowed by Bobby Ojeda so far. Ooh, I just caught that. That was a good catch. All right. Actually, that was the 6th run allowed. So we're gonna pull Ojeda. The pitcher's up, so we're gonna let him pitch to the pitcher. And that is a 5. It's off. Ojeda, the pitcher, is what kind of batter is he? He is a lefty batter. So it's a 5, lefty, 9, popped up right side. First baseman Hernandez, he's there, puts it away, and that retires aside. But 2 more runs come in, 1 unearned on 3 hits, and it is 6-0 as we go to the top of the 4th. What I'm looking to do is, pinch hit for Ojeda. He's not due up. It would be perfect if he came up in this inning, but I'd rather minimize how many pitchers I bring in, because I don't have a full team. I did print up some cards using the Strat-O-Matic card maker just to have a few more players, but I didn't do it for every team. So top of the 4th, Gary Carter leads off against John Tutor. And that's a 1 off Tutor. And a 5, column 1, 5, and that's popped up. Middle infield, shortstop. Ozzie Smith calls everybody off and makes the catch by second base. 1 down. Here's Darryl Strawberry. Both teams have an error in this game. 3 and a 7. So that's column 3 against the lefty. And a 7 is a 1-14 single, but it's an 18. So that is a line out to the second baseman, L4. So Strawberry rips it, but Tommy Hurt hadn't played positioned perfectly against that line drive, that Strawberry line drive. And it's Kevin Reynolds. A 4, he's a righty. It's a 4 and a 7, and that's going to be a drive. And it's going to be cut off by the center fielder. That's going to keep McReynolds for a single, a 2-out single for McReynolds. That is the 2nd hit of the game allowed by John Tutor. Here's a pitch. And that is a 6. So that will be off of Tutor, and he's a switch hitter batting righty. A 6 and a 9er. And that's ripped and caught by the third baseman, L5. So the Mets are hitting line drives, but right at somebody. And we're at the bottom of the 4th. So Ojeda's due up next inning, so we're hoping we can get him through this inning. But he does have the top of the lineup coming up. So that's a little bit of a drag here. I'd like to have this in the middle a little bit more. Looks a little bit easier to follow. All right, let's do it. Let's roll some dice. It's going to be Vince Coleman leading off. top of the fourth, bottom of the fourth, excuse me, top of the order. That's a 4 and a switch hitter batting from the right side. And we roll a 7, and that is a ground ball to short. A 15 is going to be a ball that I'm hoping Santana, who is a 3, can get to. Santana, a 3-15, and that's a 1 base error. So Santana boots it, E6, and that allows the speedy Coleman. But Coleman is a AAA, so he's like 19 -3, I believe. Ojeda was a -1, and plus they're holding them, so that's 2. So the triple A stealing is going to make it only on a 20 he steals or something like that. He gets caught, something to that effect. We rolled a 15, so we're just going to give it to him. So it's a stolen. Actually, we used that 15 already. So as long as it's not a 20, he steals second, easy peasy. And that brings up Tommy Herr. The defense, the Mets defense hasn't really supported Bobby Ojeda, so it hasn't been all his fault. Mets have 2 errors so far. 1 in the outfield. And that was, I believe, the left fielder. All right, Bobby Ojeda versus one runner on second, nobody out. Here's Ozzie Smith. And that is a 1 against the lefty and an 11, and that's a fly ball to right. Question mark. So that's a fly out to right. Question mark. We got I think it's a, let's see. I'm not really great at this. I don't play, Strat all the time, so I don't have a lot of these things memorized. So I kind of go by instinct. His arm is I'm looking at the wrong arm. I got to be looking at Strawberry and right, and he's a -2, but he's a +1 because he's going from second to third. So that's a -1. His running is 1 to 17, and he's going to go, and he is safe. So he advances to third, so 1 out. And Coleman, the speedy Coleman, hustles over to third base on that fly to right. Here's Tommy Herr, infield is in. And that is a 2 against the lefty, and a 10 is a base hit to left, and that drives in run number 7. Unearned run, RBI single for Tommy Herr. 7-0, so not a great game, unfortunately, here. But it's still fun to play it. And Jack Clark is up. We're trying to get Ojeda out of this inning. And it's a 2 against the lefty and a 7, and that's ball 4. That's going to be it for Bobby Ojeda. And we're just going to go to let's see if we have any scrubs in here. Let's just go to I don't have scrubs, but Randy Myers, he can pitch a couple innings. We'll try to get him to go a couple innings. So it'll be Randy Myers, and we're going to do a double switch. It's going to be, let's see, I need to do, not Howard Johnson, not Kevin McGrinnells. Oh, Jesus, this is not easy. We're going to bring, yeah, you know what? We're going to put Howard Johnson. We're going to move Howard Johnson to short. We're going to put, let me see. Okay. Dave Magadan is going to come in. He's going to play third base, and he'll bat where the pitcher bats. All right, and the double switch and third base and moving. Let me clean that up. Let me clean that up. Got sloppy. Right there. All right, so he comes into play. Sure. Drugs. Blame it on the drugs. Kids don't do drugs. Third base. All right, so he comes in to play third base. The pitcher is going to be, what do we say it was going to be? It'd be Randy Myers. Pitcher, not there. He's going to bat in. Oh, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. So Hojo's out. Third base comes Magadan. And Santana stays in there. And that's all what we could do. So we're going to pull Hojo in this game. 7-0. Not what I want to do, but I don't have the pitchers to really mess around too much. So it's a new pitcher. It's going to be Randy Myers. Let's do it. Coming up, who's coming up? It is not Jack Clark. He came up already. It's going to be Willie McGee. It suddenly got very dark in here. I turned off well, I didn't turn it off, but the lights got turned off on me. I wasn't thinking about it. All right, so Willie McGee's up against Randy Myers, so lefty, another lefty. That's going to be against a lefty and an 8, and that is a drive in the gap. And we're going to hold up. Clark is going to hold up. Going to simplify it. So it's a double for Willie McGee. Willie McGee now hit a single and a double in this game. Next is Jim Lindemann, second and third. The Mets down 7-0. We're going to play the infielder. Pitch. I should have walked Lindemann. So against a lefty, it's a 1 and a 5, and that's a ground ball, third base, A. I believe they're going to hold on this off the top of my head. They hold on this right at the third baseman. And next is Pendleton. So that was the second out of the inning, second and third. But one run came in on that double. The other runner held. And so that's 8-0. So 8 runs allowed by Bobby Ojeda. Yikes. Here's a pitch to Terry Pendleton. Again, it's a 1 against a lefty and 11, and that's a diamond shot with a 12. Too high. It's up to 10. We have the singles 1 to 10. Otherwise, it's a line drive. He's a switch hitter batting righty, line drive to McReynolds in left. So 2 runs come in, 2 left on base, and 2 runs on 2 hits, a walk and an error. And we go to the top of the 5th. Now, one thing with the, oh man, it eludes me the name of this company. But one thing about their scorecards is that their font is super small on the numbers on the sheet. It's hard to read. I talked to them about that. I said, yeah, we heard that from a couple of people. All right, so it's going to be Rafael Santana, and it's going to be Dave Magadan against Tutor, who's having an excellent game. John Tutor on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals here in St. Louis. All right, here's a pitch to Santana. That's going to be a 3 versus the lefty, and a 4 is ripped to short, scooped up by Smith over to first, easy out, 1 down. Magadan, the lefty, doesn't hit against a lot of lefties, but he's doing so in this game. And that's the lefty versus lefty, a 5 and a 4, and that is a diamond shot, but no, it's ripped to second base. L4, so he hit it right on the screws, but again, Tommy Herr positioned perfectly. Whitey Herzog I believe Whitey Herzog is still there with the Cardinals in '87. He's a master at positioning his infielders and outfielders. And here is Mookie Wilson. That's going to be a 6. He is batting righty, a 6 and an 11, and that is an X at the pitcher. Tudor made no errors, so he'll field it and make the play, and that retires the side. 3 up and 3 down. Easy peasy for Tutor. Tutor starts wearing down in the 6th inning, so that'll be in the next inning. It'll be his point of weakness. And he'll be for the Mets in the next inning. If you're a Met fan, Tuffle, Hernandez, and Carter. Lake is up here in the bottom of the, like I said, hard to read, bottom of the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And it's Randy Myers. And here's a pitch to Steve Lake. Lake today is homered and yeah, he's homered and singled. He's 2 for 2. He's having quite a day for himself. That's going to be a 4 against a righty, and that's a column 4 and a 5 is a base on ball, so he walks. So the Mets are really having a tough time getting Steve Lake out. So now it's the pitcher, little bat, Tutor, and that's a 6 off of Myers. He's a lefty, so a 6 and an 11, and that is a diamond shot home run. I do not believe that Tutor. Let's look at Tutor's guy. No, Tutor's a W. Yeah, he's a W. I don't believe he hit any home runs, so he's going to fly out. And he flies out to right. All right, so here's Vince Coleman with 1 out and 1 on. And it's a 6 against a switch hitter righty, so it's a 6 and an 11, and that is a diamond shot single. And no, it's ripped to batting righty, ripped to short. 2 out. Caught by the shortstop Santana. And Ozzie Smith with a 1 against the lefty. A 1 and a 4, and that's popped up. Again, that's another half diamond single, but it's a liner to, he's batting righty, and that'll be a liner to short. So I keep on missing those with the high rolls. It's 1 to 10. I rolled an 18 on that. So no runs. And a walk. We move to the top of the 6th inning, and that's what is a slow molasses moving game here. Super duper slow moving game with Tutor pitching a masterpiece while Bobby Ojeda got driven from the game, allowing 8 runs, not all earned, so the Mets defense did not support Ojeda all that well. Oh. So it's going to be Tim Tuffle leading it off here. And that is going to be, he's a righty, so it's a 4. A 4 and an 8 is 1 to 16 is 19, and that is lined out to short, L6. Too high, the number 2 high, and it's 20. Keith Hernandez up next, 2 struck out and grounded out. And against the lefty again, that's a 2 and an 11, and that's a diamond shot, and the 12 is too high. Lines 1 to 1st. It could be 2nd, but it says 2nd, but I'll make it 1st to get some, variety. 2 outs, and here comes the kid, Gary Carter. And he's a righty. That's a 5 and a 2, and easy play for the first baseman. Who's over there? Go Jack Clark, and that's 3 up, 3 down again. Wow. So Tutor having quite a day for himself. He's mowing these Mets hitters down. So my prediction has not come true of the Mets' mighty offense in '87. Usually I've come back in these games. I gotta charge my phone here. So let's try to do that. Bring the cord around the back end. Be careful with these. There we go. All right, so we should be okay. We should be charging, hopefully. And it's the bottom of the 6th. 8-0 Cardinals against the Mets. The Mets getting a shellacking. And it's Tommy Herr leading off. thing is with these Cardinals is that you can't get them out. So the game prolongs itself. Pitch from Myers. And that is a 4 against the switch hitter, batting from the right side, and a 7, and that is a ground ball to short, a 3. Santana is a 3, so he's going to boot it. It's most likely a 2-base error. No, it's a single. So it's a single, a range hit off of Santana, who did not get a break on that ball. Seemed to freeze when it was hit, and it just got by him into the outfield. And here's Jackie Clark. Jack Clark, quite a day, he's walked and he's hit 2 home runs. That's right, he hit 35. So that's a 5 against a right-handed hitter. And a 9er is a strikeout. So Myers blows a fastball by Jack Clark in the bottom of the 6th inning with a runner on. And what is a thrashing of the Mets, an 8-0 Cardinals lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning in the Cardinal home park. And next is Willie McGee. Switch hitting McGee. That's a 2 against a lefty and a 9er, and that's going to be a with an A, it's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. So the Mets get a break, a ball that's a tailor-made double play, and hit right at Santana, who flips to Tuffle over to first, and that retires the side. So no runs, a hit, and nobody left in that inning. We go to the top of the 7th. At 7th inning stretch, I'll take a little mini break. I don't have a lot of stamina since I came out of surgery yesterday, and I'm on a few different medications. Major surgery, by the way, the total hip replacement. It'll take me about a month to recover. But I was not, I would not be deterred today. I was going to play a game. Let's see, Strawberry's up against Tutor, who's just been lights out in this replay of a 1987 game. Where were you in 1987? I was going to see the Mets at Shea Stadium in 1987, living in Queens. I was driving a cab in New York and going to college at that time. And that is a 3, so that will be off of Strawberry against, of course, the lefty. And a 6 is a strikeout, so he swings and misses at a curveball. That Tudor curveball dropped right off the table and got Strawberry. Made him look foolish. Here is Kevin McReynolds. And that is off McReynolds, a 3 and a 5. And that's a deep drive to left field way back. And that is gone, my friends. The first run of the day for the Mets, Kevin McReynolds, who hit 29 home runs that season. So the Mets have some power. But that's not going to be nearly enough. 8-1 here in the 7th inning. We're a couple outs away from the 7th inning stretch, and I'll have to take a short break just to recover some stamina. I think I have some physical therapy to do with my son. He's going to be my coach my last bit of the day. I just took a nap, and that helped me. Okay, so it's going to be a pinch hitter here for the Mets. We're going to bring in, let's see. I'm going to bring in the switch hitter, Wally Backman, to pinch hit here. All right, here goes. 1 out, nobody on. Pitch from Tudor. That's against, he's batting righty, so that's going to be a 4 and an 11, and that's a fly out center field with a 6. Now the center fielder is McGee. McGee's a pretty good center fielder. Let's see if he catches up to this. He's a 1, so he does run it down. He does run it down. What did we say? It was a 6 in center field, and the 6 is caught. So in the drive in the gap, and Willie McGee got a good jump on that ball, read it perfectly off the bat, and raced into the gap, and was able to make that catch. So F8 for out number 2. And next is Hojo. Actually, no, next is Santana, Rafael Santana. And that's a 1 against the lefty pitcher, a 1 and a 9er, and that's popped up right side. Near the stands is Clark and makes the catch. And that retires the side. 1 run on 1 hit, the home run, the solo shot by McReynolds makes the score 8-1. And we go to its 7th inning stretch, so I can't stretch too much, but I am going to take a little mini stamina break. Thanks for watching my games, guys. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and always giving you a little bit of something different, sharing my tabletop adventures with you guys. Take care. See you soon.